I have ideas.
Setting me up for failure. You're trying to Sean Parker this, aren't you?
I'm CEO of Real Opinions, that massive industry. We should have one of those screens up behind us, but we're just counting. We cheer every time a subscriber goes up 1 subscriber. We have a party.
I'll try and... Do you want to do the introduction, seeing as you're taking charge of everything this week?
Okay. Yeah. So this is our what? What is this? Are we counting this as the 4th or the 3rd in the series?
Technically 4th.
Okay, this is the 4th podcast. The last one was cut short by pizza. But I have a lot of the things I wanted to talk about were trailers that I know both of us have watched, and I thought we could give our own mini reactions to them. But I was wondering, have you seen the Passengers trailer yet?
I did, actually, yeah. So that's actually quite...
You did, yes.
Yeah.
That could be a good starting point. That's big with all the kids now. They're stars. You know what? Actually, I want to talk about this. Actually, you know how people always talk about how there are no stars in Hollywood anymore. They always say there aren't really there. Yeah, there's no stars, and I get what they mean is that there isn't like the star system like there was in classical Hollywood, and it's not like people go, oh, I want to go see that new Chris Pratt picture. But I think there are stars. Like, I know back then you used to think of like, oh, we'll go see the new James Cagney film, and like that's what it was called, the new James Cagney film. Whereas now it's more about, IPs or genre than necessary. Like, people won't go to see, I don't know, what was a huge hit this year? Civil War. People can go, I want to go see that new Robert Downey Jr. film. They went, I want to go see Civil War. But at the same time, there are stars, right? I mean, this whole film is literally just...
It's entirely powered
it's Chris
by stars.
Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a proper... In that, like, old-school Hollywood vein, in that the entire selling point is that there are 2 famous people together in it. Like, that's the entire hook. So, I don't think that stars are gone. I don't care, to be honest. I don't give a shit about stars, but
I wouldn't say that they're completely
But at the same
gone.
time, I feel like I get that it's not exactly the same. It's not like, because I guess the other part with stars is that they like in the classical Hollywood thing, they would craft like an image. So like this guy would only be known for gangster films, and he's like the gangster guy, and you go see his films because he does gangster movies, and he does screwball movies with Katharine Hepburn. I think the thing is, if actors do that now, they get criticised for doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's like they're not allowed to specialize almost anymore. Like it's praised more if they don't. They, I mean, obviously you can understand why it's praised if they have a wider range of stuff, like of skills.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I definitely agree that it's kind of sad that they don't have just this person, like as the.
Yeah, well, like, you don't have, like, even we don't even have, like, to go, like, to the 70s or 80s, we don't really have, like, Scream Queens anymore. Queens. No, like, big horror actresses. We don't have any Boris Karloffs or anything either. There's no one who sticks to genres anymore.
I'd say it's
not really a thing.
I'd say there's the one true star
or if they
of our
do,
generation.
they're criticised for it.
The one true star of our generation. I would say Jason Statham then. Because he's an action star through and through.
Yeah, no, the action, he's like one of our few proper action heroes as well. Because we don't really get any of them now.
Yeah.
But him and, weirdly enough, Liam Neeson are now actual, like, they're the closest thing we have, I guess. Because that's kind of what I think of when I think of stars, is I usually think that they're associated with a genre or something. And that's, like, a big part of their like, that's how they're used. Because it's like, if you like the other films they're in, you'll like this film they're in. Whereas now, everyone just takes whatever they can get, basically.
No, I quite like... And also, they don't seem to do the... I was just thinking about this the other night, actually, just because of La La Land again. But they don't tend to do the on-screen star couples as much anymore, either. I mean, Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone have that chemistry, and that's definitely a thing that they're playing on to kind of promote the film. But it's yeah, they don't really have as many of these like classical pairings as you see with this person. Definitely always goes with this person. It's very mixed match. Well, I'm gonna pause it because Harrison's computer just crashed.
Okay, I'm back. Right, so you were talking about La La Land.
Yeah. So I was basically just trying to compare it to the fact that you don't really get as similar to having stars. You don't really get star couples anymore in films.
Yeah, but they've been in like what 3 movies now?
Yeah,
They were in
I was
Gangster
saying that's.
Squad. It was
Were they in Gangster Squad together?
Yeah,
They were in that one with Steve Carell.
yeah, that one.
And was there another one?
I think it
I
might
feel like
unless La La Land is the third one.
there was one where it was literally just a conventional rom com. There was another one where it was like uh, Ryan Gosling was like a love agent a la Hitch.
Yeah,
And
that's Crazy Stupid Love.
that's crazy stupid. That's with Steve Carell. Yeah.
Yeah,
And now, yes, I think
Gangster Squad.
Squad was like a third one, and this is like the fourth where they're a
All
thing.
right. Yeah, well,
And
either
so
way,
it's-
yeah, they've been in quite a lot together now, haven't
I
they?
can't really think of
Bradley
anyone...
Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence have been like 3 movies together as well, haven't they?
Yeah, but they're not always the couple though, are they? Like
They were in 2 of them, weren't they? I don't know. I
they
didn't
were.
see that really old, boring one.
Oh, Serena. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
he's for 4 movies, yeah, because he's in Joy, isn't he? Isn't he?
He's not. They're not a couple in Joy.
But he's in it, so they've been in 4 movies
Yeah,
together.
that's true. But now she's dumped him for the newer model. So right. But yeah, no, I quite like that. That's how they're kind of advertising it as like the classic star thing as well. Because while you were gone, I was also thinking about the fact that they don't really do kind of going on from the star thing. They don't really do adult rom coms anymore. I know that's not like something that you're gonna go, oh damn, I miss.
What
those
are adult?
rom-coms."
That sounds like a Seth Rogen movie.
No. Oh, that's actually sad. They're probably the closest you could get to.
Like Knocked Up's decent. I quite like.
That's what I'm saying. That's. I haven't watched it, so I can't really.
Knocked Up is genuinely alright. Like, it's, of all of the Judd Apatow ones, it's the least indulgent and potentially the funniest.
I have heard that. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know. I listened to an interview with him the other day, and up until that point,
Who?
I was just
Apatow or Rogo. Okay.
Apatow, and I was completely ambivalent about him. But he actually sounded like quite intelligent and quite smart, which I know that a lot of the comedian directors are. But it was just the fact that I don't like any of his films.
Well,
like,
obviously we hated that one. Trainwreck.
Oh yeah, well did he direct that or produce
Yeah,
it?
he directed it. I mean, he didn't write it, to be fair, because I think he writes the ones like the personal projects, like Funny People and Knocked Up, but he didn't write Trainwreck. That was her, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he's just he's like a ringleader more than he is a director.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has like involvement in Anchorman and things, and I like Anchorman. I know Anchorman's divide, but I like Anchorman, and he has like he's produced quite a lot of movies that I do think are funny.
Yeah, and I think he's just got a good sense of what's funny.
He's got a good group of friends, is what we're saying. He's got good friends to leech off of.
He's got good friends and good money, and he keeps making more money, which
and more friends.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, because everyone wants to be his friends because he has money.
I want to be his friend, but I won't make him any money.
Well, then you gotta go. If you're not making money, you can't be his friend.
That's what happened to Katherine Heigl. Anyway, Passengers.
Yeah, that got really sidetracked. But what I was meant to say with the rom-com thing is that basically, this is sort of like a rom-com. Sort of. It looks like it from the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like it like the first. I don't know how much of the film that is though, but like the first half of the trailer looks like that. But I don't know if that's just the first 10 minutes of the film, or if the last half is the last 10 minutes of the film. But I can't imagine that like the whole film is going to be one or the other.
What did you think of the trailer as a whole?
I thought it was thoroughly average.
Yes.
And if the two people weren't in it, I wouldn't have even blinked, I don't think. But my eyes went, famous people, and I recognised them, and when I recognised... There was one bit I really liked. And that was the bit where Michael Sheen robot smashed his head on the bar and flew across.
Yeah.
That was hysterical.
That was actually the best bit. That was genuinely the best bit. Surprisingly, I didn't think I had that many thoughts at the time, but now looking back on it, I did have. Right, so one, while it's still fresh in my memory, I'm gonna get sick to death of all the Kubrick references the critics.
Yeah.
Because they've got 2001 obvious.
Shining.
The Shining from the bar. God forbid what other stuff comes out when the film gets released. Oh, I'm gonna hate it. If they do one like Steadicam shot, every like critic is gonna be like scribbling in their notebook, like
looking around, like hoping no one's copying them, not realizing they're all writing the same thing.
They all just chant, "I'm original. I'm original." And then they'll give it 5 stars because they were so happy with the film because of how clever they thought they were.
I think it will get like 3 stars around the board. It will be like, when like those big Will Smith movies come out where it's like they're quite old now. They're like 7 years ago or whatever. Like a big Will Smith movie would come out.
And
the whole draw would be that Will Smith was involved in it, and they'd all, like I Am Legend, Hancock, all of them, like 3 stars, they're fine, and then they fade away. And I that's exactly what I anticipate this being.
Yep.
And
it just, I didn't believe, like, it's bad that within a trailer I didn't believe their relationship.
they don't seem to fit at all.
Yeah.
I did think that was a bit weird. But I'm getting, I like Chris Pratt, but I'm starting to get concerned now that Hollywood has actually confused him for legitimate, serious leading man material when he's funny leading man material. He's Star-Lord. Jurassic Park worked, but I feel like the Magnificent Seven trailer, it's like, look, he's cool, and it's like, no, he's supposed to be funny, cool, not like a genuine badass. Because he doesn't look or act or sound like a genuine badass. He looks funny and sounds funny, and that's who he should be. But this trailer did not give you any hint that that's the Chris Pratt it is. This is serious Chris Pratt.
And even when he did the jokes, like with the robot, it was like...
I don't remember the jokes.
There was the joke with the little robot. That was the one joke in the whole trailer, and it was the beginning.
What was it?
He literally just sends a robot to her with a note asking her out on a date.
Oh, that bit. Yeah.
But even that's played very, like, flat. Like, have you watched... I'm guessing you've watched Parks and Rec.
It's a bit. I've watched like the first season. I've definitely seen season 1.
I just want him to look at the camera and smile. Like, just
you
give
want
some
goofy,
knowing that he's actually... But yeah, he's goofy. Like, sure, you can have different variants of funny, but he does goofy very well.
Yeah.
And it's just that's what he's best at. And I don't want to see it. Yeah, like you said, I don't want to just see him be another pouty, hunky guy.
Which is what he looks like in this, right?
Like, and it was the fact that, just for basic... I said to you a while back that I hate it when people make criticisms about a film by saying how they would improve it. Like, because for me, it feels more like ego stroking than actually like providing criticism. But for this, I want to try and do it for a trailer. I want to be the ego guy. But just for instance, like I think the problem with this trailer was partly in that not only did it kind of just give so much away with the fact that they're going to have to save this whole ship full of people. Ooh, scary. Like...
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the last 10 minutes or the whole film. I don't know if that's the synopsis. Is that like, and then the whole film happens with them, or is that the end of the movie? I don't know.
I didn't know if it was meant to be entirely action or like I said, like a romance comedy that goes
into an
action film, or because it just kind of felt like... And they've introduced it really weird. So it introduces with them already knowing each other, and then not like doing a flashback, but it was just like, oh yeah, also this happened, and then so it doesn't really establish their relationship, and then cuts to the scenes of our relationship is so strong that we're sacrificing ourselves for each other. And I'm like, at least like put in. Like, start with them waking up.
Put in a shot of them going on a picnic or something.
I'm not kidding. Just genuinely do that. I'm not kidding. A shot of a space picnic would make me think...
Space picnic?
One, that would make me think, okay, at least this has got like some knowledge of how stupid it is. Two, it's
Mm.
like it shows that they've actually got a funny bone. And three, it's actually going to show them building a relationship that you can then go, oh, when the sun explodes, that's. Ooh, I feel bad for them then.
It took visuals straight from Sunshine as well, because there's
Yeah.
that shot with them watching stood in front of the sun
Yes.
in from their room, and it's like that's the Sunshine room. You can't do that.
It just yeah, just it felt like it was ripped from a. It was felt like it was ripped
A
from the
lot of
Hollywood manual.
I got a bit of Wall-E as well. like the space station looks like where they live in Wall-E, where all the fat people are floating around.
I just,
Is the villain the wheel? Is it the ship's? Is this the ship's wheel?
it's and the fact that he then said at the end, what is it? He said at the end, we were really woke up early for a reason. Why don't you let me? Why don't you let me speculate on that while I was watching the film, rather than now? So it's like, what is the point in like say it's like just flashing up just before the title? There is a twist. Like I'm supposed to like rub my hands and start speculating now about what this thing is.
Based on no information.
Exactly. I'm supposed to be going through frame by frame through the trailer trying to figure out why they were actually woken up. But I don't care because I don't care about the characters. They haven't been on a picnic. How am I supposed to care about these people if they don't have a picnic? But it just
And the thing is, it just had such like a bland visual style as
Yeah.
well. And the thing is, like because this is the thing is that like I know Chris always says that I complain that we don't get enough original sci-fi movies, but then whenever they come out, I don't like them. But it has to work both ways. They have to be good. I can't just like them because they're original. And so, be good, please, because I want more.
everything decent.
Be good.
Everything decent about this trailer, you could literally take a screen cap and compare it to where it was referenced from.
Yeah.
Like everything that looked interesting was ripped directly from something else, like completely directly. Like the guy at the bar is literally doing Shining cosplay, like and
Yeah, but the guy in The Shining never smashed his head against the bar and flew around because that would be ridiculous.
and also because that's
That
that's
would-
either two things. One, either it's like the gravity in the ship has changed or something like that. So that's them going on a barrel roll or something. So it's meant to show, the ship's crashing. In which case, that'd be really funny if he's just going like, ow, 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 ow.
Or that's his weird malfunction.
Yeah.
That's how he malfunctions.
Or yeah, they're saying, or it's like the ship turning evil, and that's like him actually like losing his shit. He's like the ship is having a temper tantrum, so he's just gonna like smack his head on the bar.
Either way, it's hysterical.
Yeah, either way, there's no way I can take it seriously, and it was the funniest moment of that trailer, by far. So I'm still just thinking about it.
Okay, I
It's not that funny.
so just to recap, it doesn't look good.
It could be good. I expect I expect 3 or 4 star reviews. I expect I will give it a 5.
Oh wait, I thought you meant 5 stars, not a 5
Oh,
out
no.
of 10.
Yeah, no, I
You
should
do?
have actually I should have clarified that. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, probably.
I expect it will be my favourite film.
Best film ever made. Passengers. I hate the name as well.
I do too. I don't like it at all. It's a stupid
Like
title.
I get the idea of having the one word per title gives it a bit of mystery, but at the same time gives it a bit of impact if you just say one word. Like it's more people are more likely to remember one word than a long sentence or something. But such a word.
Well, to be fair, if you want a memorable, beyond stupid title, I have another one.
Yeah.
The Bye Bye Man. That was garbage. That looked like that looked like the next friend request. It looked so idiotically. It looked like so idiotically mundane and generic, and it looked like just the kind of thing that I could imagine being sat in the cinema next to a bunch of idiot teenagers, and like one of the girls would go, "Oh, that looks scary. We should see that," and I would cry inside. It is. It's. I don't like to attack audiences, but it's the kind of film that is appealing to morons and teenagers and teenage morons. It looks so stupid. It looks exactly like every horror movie made in the last 5 years had like a massive orgy and just made the most bland, the most generic, the most boring thing. It's sinister with a little splash of The Conjuring and a dash of Insidious, and it all just merges into nothing. It manages to mix everything and just be nothing. And the whole central idea is that he's like a Bloody Mary Candyman type thing where you can't say his name or he'll show up, but you can't think his name. How does that even work? How do you not think something's name? As soon as it's told to you, you've thought of it. If I go, don't think the Bye Bye Man, you've thought the Bye Bye Man, he should be after you because I've said Bye Bye Man. And as soon as someone says Bye Bye Man, you're thinking Bye Bye Man. Like, what do you have to, how does it work? What if you just have like a passing thought about it? Does that count? Or do you have to literally think the words "bye bye man"? I don't get it. What's the criteria for this? What's the criteria for thinking about the "bye bye man"?
I want it on the record that I've been speechless since that name was uttered. I wasn't just taking it. I can't think of anything to. I haven't watched the trailer.
Oh right, okay.
No,
well, you
I'm
basically
gonna watch it now.
He haunts people.
I was gonna say
okay.
I didn't because I started watching. We got sent it on our Facebook group, and I opened it in the office, and it was literally just flashed up Bye Bye Man, and then it's just a woman, and it was the girl in the train, and I had to stop it because I was like holding back laughter so much that I just couldn't watch it in the. Right, I don't want to. I don't. I want to get that Fine Bros money. I watched the first 3 seconds. Oh my god!
You can't say "bye bye man."
She's just like turned to the train and what? Right. I'm gonna just watch it on. Oh, what? Is it? Oh no, it's not in a different aspect ratio. It's just like they're showing different photos. Okay, right. I hate it.
Yeah, he is. What do they call? I mean, he's got a stupid Bagul. That's the one from Sinister. He's got a stupid name as well, Bagul, and the Bye Bye Man.
It just looks like Killer Croc from Suicide Squad. It just looks like.
He does, doesn't he? No, he does. He does. This just looks like the not only the most generic thing, but so lame. Like it just looks so lame, and it's everything wrong with everything in the world. I hate it already.
I don't know how you could possibly sell this film based on the name. Why are there teenagers making out in the cellar? I don't care about this. I'm scared by the. There's a Dementor in his room. I don't care about this at all, and it's just.
But well, for me, it was the reason that I picked this one. The reason it made me so angry, beyond the fact that it has no original ideas and it looks like everything else that's come out in the last 10 years. The reason I picked it is just because its central concept is so stupid. You can't think the name. There's no tension there because I can't see what they're thinking unless you're gonna have like Inside Out style bits where the emotions like get the memory of the Bye Bye Man and go, oh, we're gonna make them think about the Bye Bye Man. I'm not gonna know if they're nearly thinking his name or not.
This trailer's brilliant. Just got to the bit where the maggot comes out right.
Oh yeah, that bit's funny, isn't it? She just looks really confused.
I think it's better. I'm not listening to it. The emo person with their bleeding eyes. And
Yeah.
I think it's better without the sound because you can realize how they did steal it from everything. Like they're looking at like sinister
Yeah.
footage on an iPhone and stuff like that, and it is just
Yeah.
the Bye Man. What a
Although
dumb name.
no, there's a bit in the trailer where he's looking at the on the iPhone and then it moves.
Yeah.
And that's straight out of the Babadook when she's watching him on TV. So there's just another one there. There's another steal. And doesn't it? I think. Oh no! Was this the one that played the It Follows score?
Did it play it? Oh,
Yes, it plays the It Follows score as well. So it's literally every horror movie.
don't think it. Don't say it. Well,
Yeah, don't think it. Don't think it. How am I supposed to know if the characters are really thinking it?
I will.
There's no tension there. I can't see inside their heads that they're nearly thinking.
I think it's very good advertising because it did just manage to say exactly what I was thinking. I will not think to say it. I will not think to talk about it. I will forget. Oh, it's such. That was That's.
I'm pretty sure it plays It Follows in the trailer as well. I'm pretty sure it takes that music.
And also, can we? Alright, I get why they are doing the mini teasers at the beginning of trailers now. Like,
oh, I hate them. I
despise
hate them.
Like, why would you spoil something that you're going to see in 2 minutes time? I mean,
it's like attention spans are that bad now that
I get
people.
why they do it because it's
so you don't skip them on YouTube.
exactly yeah. So it's when they
The
come
five-
up
it's
as
the 5
YouTube
seconds.
trailers, and so people see these 5 seconds and they're like, "Oh, the Bye Man, that sounds incredible. I want to watch that." And so it's like it says what the trailer's going to be before they skip it.
I finally got around. You mentioned it last week. I finally got round to watching the Annabelle 2 trailer.
I didn't.
And that one depresses me. It depresses me because it's made by the guy. Do you know who's directing it? It's the guy who made Lights Out.
Oh.
So you know how we were saying that he had promise, and that you even said I didn't like Lights Out, but I might like this guy's future films. Well, no, they've taken him from kind of on the Blumhouse, on the Blumhouse conveyor belt, and literally put him making the most Blumhousey of them all now. What? They've literally it's the same. Like, you know how disappointed I was when I found out Adam Wingard is making a sequel found footage film to the Blair Witch. Like, it's that again. It's like, oh, I thought you might do better than that. Okay.
It's a stupid, just career move as well. I mean, it's because it's a step backwards to make a sequel to someone else's film.
That's what I thought, especially when it's a horror movie sequel. Like, yeah, okay, if you're offered a big budget sequel, then you're taking a step up into another arena. But to go from making your own horror movie with the same budget, it's like, why couldn't he make Lights Out 2? If that's what he wanted to do, I feel like he'd have a bit more integrity if he did Lights Out 2.
It's the fact that if he hadn't made an original film, and if it was like, this is his first thing coming onto a sequel, then I can understand it. It's regardless of whether or not you think it's going to be a good film, you want to get that first feature, and if you can prove yourself with the sequel to something like that, then you're essentially like set to eventually make your own thing. I don't want to go into, like, if I was trying to make films, I wouldn't go, oh, I want to make an original idea and then take someone else's and make it.
It will be
going
like
to be worse than Annabelle. It's going to be worse. I can't see anything redeeming about that story that you could then.
I think it's. I don't know, but from the trailer, I got the impression that it's a prequel to this prequel.
Oh.
Because Annabelle's a prequel to The Conjuring, and this is a prequel to Annabelle, I think.
I hate
because it had the little girl.
I hate them.
Yeah, they're the worst. Because they explain. Because one of the whole like joys of some horror films is that things are scary because there's a degree of unknown. I don't think you need to give nothing away. I'm fine with characters having backstories and you having some stuff explained. But if you actively retcon that and actively explain stuff that wasn't meant to be explained, that's when you're just fucking with it. It's like the Rob Zombie Halloween movie goes back. The first half of that movie is a prequel, and then the second half is an actual remake of Halloween. So it's like trying to sort of expand upon Halloween by giving you what happened before it. And what it does is it gives you Michael Myers' childhood. So this creepy, imposing, mysterious killer who you know nothing about in the original Halloween. He is literally a dude with a mask who you don't know why he's doing it. He's just this haunting spectre. And this film literally shows you him as a little kid. And he's not scary anymore. I'm just watching him grow up. Like this is so mundane now.
But I'll go back on it. They do show that he is a little kid in the first one, but it's scarier.
No, that's true. That's true.
They show it through the mind of him, and you're like, this is an adult.
It's POV. It's POV. It's 2 minutes, and it's the moment where he's killing. Whereas what I'm saying is that Rob Zombie...
Yeah, and they're giving a reason.
Shows him everything. They show everything.
They give a reason why he killed his sister.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
He's abused at home.
Because you don't know why he killed his sister. You don't know what caused him to snap. And then especially with the ending, you don't know like if he's like possessed or if he's some spiritual thing because he just can't die. Like that's also the mystery of it. If he's just a regular kid that had a problem with his sister,
they show you him getting bullied. They show you his sisters, and it's just also point.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's just, and then they show you like his time in the psychiatric hospital as well.
Right.
It's so unnecessary, isn't it? It just stops him. It just makes him a dude. It just makes him a normal dude. And it also then because he grows from this wimpy little kid into this massive hulking man, and you have like no idea when that happened. Anyway, I don't like horror prequels more so than other prequels.
There is a trailer recommendation on my YouTube next to the Bye Bye Man. I'm gonna click it. I hope.
Wait, no, wait. Is it what I think it is? It the hand job film? Yes, I saw that. It's a joke. It's a joke. I thought it was a real film too. I genuinely, I saw that too, and I was about to send it to you, and then realised that it was a joke.
It's such a shame.
It's not a funny joke, but I thought that it was Hand Job Cabin.
Yeah, it's called
something.
Hand Job Cabin, and I saw it, and my eyes just lit up.
Yes.
Like
no, I thought the exact same thing.
Sorry.
It's not even a film. It's not a film. It's a fake.
Right.
The trailer's all that exists. Moving off of trailers, I do have a little thing I want to talk about that it's not big news or anything, but I think it's topical at least, and it's something that I find interesting. The director of the Blair Witch 2, not the new Blair Witch 2, which came out early 2000s. Recently, because of the release of Blair Witch, he did some tweets about his film, about his Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I'm going to call it Book of Shadows so that it's more obvious what I'm talking about. And he did some tweets, and then he had an interview with, I think it was Deadline, and he started talking about Blair Witch, about why he hasn't seen the new Blair Witch, about the studio intervention, which I thought was is becoming a thing we're talking about all the time. The studio intervention that you have with Blair Witch 2, and some of it was really kind of like, again, he seems like a smart guy because Blair Witch 2 is shit. Blair Witch 2 is really.
I haven't heard anything about
it.
I wouldn't.
Well, basically, I can give you. I think it's probably semi-important. I give you a bit of backstory. So Blair Witch 2, I think it came out it might have come out like a year after Blair Witch.
It's a very quick turnaround.
Very, very quick turnaround. It isn't a found footage movie.
Okay.
It's about a bunch of people who go into what was it? It's like they.
Do you want me to look it up?
I think they go. No, is it where they go? Is this the one where they go to where the film, the first Blair Witch is a film in this film? You know, they've seen the Blair Witch.
So
I think
like what Human Centipede tried to do later on.
Yes. And it's confusing, and it's not scary, and I don't even know what it was trying to be, because it's like they all pass out after doing something, like they have like a weird ritual around the campfire. They're trying to summon something, because one of them's a Wicca. That's it, whatever you call them. Wiccan, like one of those
American witches or whatever they. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a ritual. They pass out and they forget everything, and then creepy stuff happens.
Okay.
And it's very dull. It's very confusing. Nothing really happens, and it's quite stupid. And most importantly of all, it doesn't really have that much to do with Blair Witch. It feels a bit like, what's this got to do with it? Anything? And also, it goes with this really creepy, kind of unsettling tone, but it keeps playing Rob Zombie music throughout the whole thing, which is just funny. like really loud heavy metal rock music opens the film. But anyway, the guy who made this is now apparently quite a respected documentary filmmaker. So it's quite odd that he made the Blair Witch film that wasn't a documentary. He made the only one that wasn't. But he was saying that apparently the studios kept trying to like interject and make it more conventional and put in more gore and put in more jump scares, which does sound weird because I don't know what was in the film without those things. Yeah. I don't know what happened, but he did say that it seems to have been another case of a studio cut being quite different from his cut. And he was saying that at that point in his career, he didn't want to say no. He didn't have. He was like, I want to make a name for myself in Hollywood. So yeah. Whatever you say, fine. I will let you walk all over me in exchange
being
for
able to make a film.
Being able to make a film
too.
Yeah, and he said like, now if I was doing that, I would have taken my name off the film. But back then, I just wanted to have my name out there. And then he was saying like, oh, when it came out, critics like destroyed it. Everyone hated it, and he felt like that was genuinely upsetting because it wasn't what he intended. But one of the things that he said that I did think was really weirdly interesting was he was talking about how people have kind of talked about Blair Witch 2 now as a total failure, a commercial failure, and a critical failure. And that would make some sense because it took 15 years for another Blair Witch film afterwards. It was the studio's second biggest hit of all time.
The
first being the original.
Time.
The first being the Blair Witch Project. So he made like the second most successful film, and yet somehow it was a failure. But I just thought it was interesting that we have like another example, this time from a more low budget kind of area, of a studio fucking with a film. And again, it's the same thing because I think he probably pitched something very weird and different, and they'll have said yes, and then halfway through went, actually, could you not? And so what you have is this really odd film that's trying to be psychological, trying to be kind of experimental and weird, but at the same time is so lazy, kind of cheap, and everything cliche and annoying about horror movies. And I think you can really, now that I know that that's what happened, I think I can sort of understand it a bit more. I think I can see how it is a film that has been messed around with and that is like half director's bizarre idea and half studio going, make it more scary in jump scary way. But he also said that he won't see the new film because he's like scarred by it, because he makes documentaries now, and I don't know if he's made any other narrative. I know documentaries, narrative films, but I don't know if he's made any other like fiction films since. But it's like it's really kind of like he's really, I don't want to ever see it. I'm sure it's a good film, but I want nothing to do with any of it.
Wow.
And yeah, it was kind of sad. But it makes me wonder if this new Blair Witch, because I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people have said that it's the exact same film
as Blair Witch.
People have said it,
or because
like people have as Blair Witch Project, and I feel like it's almost like another Force Awakens situation where people got so pissed that the follow-ups were so radically different that they've now made this reboot it's the exact same. Because I don't know, why would you make the Blair Witch Project again?
I suppose, I mean,
it's not like you can do anything new with it with a bigger budget, because it's all just people running around the forest going, ah!
I can kind of understand
that,
but at the same time,
we are.
I mean, has been 16 years, 17 years since the first one came out, which in that time, that's like a whole generation of film watchers. I mean, I've never felt the need to watch the Blair Witch Project, just as I'm not a horror fan or something like that.
Well, also, because even though you haven't seen the Blair Witch, you've seen the Blair Witch Project by now. You've seen it in all the films that have followed. You've seen it. There's nothing that you knew.
And so I can see why they'd get a kind of up-and-coming director to I can see why it'd be a remake worthy film, and I feel
Mm.
like it's kind of in that spot where it was too young to completely remake it, but it was too
Yeah,
old to just do a sequel and have people and have the current horror watching.
understand
Yeah,
it.
because I mean this is the Slackers Club. It kind of felt actually that's what they did. They did Blair Witch for the recent Slackers Club. That's why I remembered it. It's
Oh,
yeah,
did they?
it's for that student kind of age group. It's for uh what 15 is probably what it is. 15 to 25 age group. That's what it's aiming for. And I think yeah, after so many years, I think a good majority of those people wouldn't actually have watched the Blair Witch Project. So I can see why they wanted to kind of do a soft reboot, but I don't.
That's what it is. It is a soft reboot because
Yeah,
it is sort of a sequel, but it is the exact same film. It is
but at
Jurassic
the same
World
time,
or,
I'm like, I
Force
can see
Awakens.
talent in Adam Wingard. Definitely, it was like he was just a
Mm.
better like more so than the Lights Out guy. I said that about the Lights Out guy. Adam Wingard, you can
Mm.
definitely see it, and he's
Yeah.
got stuff coming out. Like he's doing the Death Note film that I'm.
Is he still doing that?
Yes, yeah, it's for Netflix as well.
Okay, I didn't know if that had fallen through because he was doing this, so I didn't
Exactly,
know
yes, and
what was
it's
happening
actually
anymore.
almost sort of also says that it was a very rushed thing with this Blair Witch.
Yeah, no,
But
yeah, but I don't know when he made it though, because it was a secret thing. Like, did he make it this year? Did he
yeah,
make it
exactly.
20 years ago? I don't know when it came when it
It
was
could have been
made.
like an old thing that they just took ages editing or something like that. I don't know, but what was it? But yeah, it's kind of a shame to see that. Kind of switching. Is there anything else you want to say about that, or
Nah, until I've seen it. No.
um the Death Note film that he's doing? Do you know anything about the original Death Note at all, or these like the story?
Uh, I know that you write someone's name down, they
Yeah,
die, and there's that weird thing that the weird like
uh,
monstery looking guy.
Shinigami. Yeah. Yeah, I
Sure.
remember the name from ages ago. But basically, so that's like I was excited for that. Willem Dafoe is going to be the Shinigami, which is like it's if you could get one human to play that role, like Willem Dafoe's a pretty good call. But
Yeah.
the bit that kind of got me a bit worried with that is that I like Adam Wingard, so I thought, oh, if this is like good, this could be the project where it's not original, but it's something that he could really shine at. And with a Netflix film,
Mm.
it's got such a wide audience that it goes out to immediately. There would be enough to get his name into the
Yeah.
spotlight, which has sort of slowly been happening with The Guest, which is on Netflix. And but he's put out a statement saying, "Don't worry, fans. This is going to have all the was it all the nudity, language, and violence that's in the original." To which people say like, "There's no nudity in the original. There's
Really.
none." And so it's like
I
it's
don't
quite
know.
like strange. So it feels like he's like, and it's I mean there is violence in it, but like the most violence is like when you write down what how a person dies. If you don't write down how they die, they just have a heart attack. So that's like
Mm.
not that violent. I mean, it's just not. There's not that much violence. That's like horror level violence. There's not that. There's no nudity. There's like.
Yeah.
There's not even that much swearing. Like it's just kind of
Oh,
very
okay.
much about the cycle. Like it's kind of like I suppose what you could say like teen horror almost, but
Mm.
sort of well written teen horror with a concept as opposed to just Bye Bye Man or something. But it's just kind of worrying to see like if I don't know because I haven't really thought of it's almost like it's getting a gritty reboot, which it's not
Mm.
something that like it's not something that I ever felt would need a gritty reboot, and I'm just worried that this is kind of the way that Netflix might be going with some things, and that they take classic stuff and they think we can't sell this as it is. We'll make it
Yeah.
different because we're Netflix, and I kind of just wanted Death Note.
Yeah.
I
You
just
want
wanted
it?
it
Yeah.
as it was. Like, and there's problems with sort of the ending. There's definitely problems with the ending, and so they could fix small things, but the fact that you're kind of changing the tone of something is kind of strange. With I don't know. That's just something I wanted to get out because it's sort of news, and also it's something that I sort of.
Is it going to be? Is it going to be set? This is a dumb question. Of course, it's not. I was going to say, is it going to be with Asian people?
No.
And is it going to be set that it's going to be in America with
I
Americans?
don't remember confirmation that it's in America, but they're not going to sell it as a Japanese film.
Yeah, it was a stupid question. They might do what they did with like the Grudge remake, where it's set in Japan, but it's about the American people that moved to there.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, but it's as well. They're gonna have to change small things with that because there's a few like cultural things or things that are like specific to location with that, which is quite strange. But I mean, that's stuff that they can easily get around, and that's I wouldn't expect them to make a foreign language in a foreign country.
Oh, I wasn't saying foreign language,
No,
but
yeah,
yeah. Like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo remake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still set in Sweden, isn't it? Like they've all still called Blomfkist and everything, but they're speaking.
Yeah.
But they're not Swedish.
Yeah, like they can still definitely be really good, a la David Fincher. But I have to. There must be something in the David Fincher version that's lost because of that change. Like there must be. He's probably gained a lot from the fact that he's a quality director, but there must be like bits and. I don't know, bits that
cultural things. Yeah.
Anyway, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about at all? I didn't come into this with anything.
No, do you have anything lined up? You haven't come up with anything.
No, I wasn't prepared at all. I will load up the news website and just I'll try and find something.
Go through the news.
Speaking.
Yeah, I know. I did read that they are talking about rebooting Spawn, which is cool because Spawn's always been is a comic book character, and he had like a movie in 1997 or something like that, and it was terrible. But the thing is, Spawn has always been like the top of my list of superhero movies that I kind of want, not because the first one's good, but because it has potential. It's like a Daredevil situation where like it doesn't need to be bad, but the problem is I thought no one's ever gonna make a Spawn movie again because of what happened. But they're talking about doing Spawn again. They're talking about doing it R, and this is one that actually should be R. This isn't like the new trend where everything's getting rebooted R. Like Spawn should be R, and so I got excited for that one because Spawn is probably top of my list of the current superhero characters that don't already have films. Like he wouldn't have been if it wasn't for the fact that literally everybody gets a film now. Like he's almost by virtue of the fact that fucking Ant-Man has a movie now that Spawn it should feel left out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it could be good. Spawn is an interesting character. The problem is that it's one of those supernatural action things, and I can't think of a single one that's been good.
What is Spawn's thing? Power.
So Spawn is like a bad dude who
he's just a bad dude.
He makes like he makes a deal with the devil to come back to life. So his supernatural powers, and he's kind of hired by the devil. If I'm remembering this correctly, I think the devil kind of basically makes him into a weapon to kind of get other demons or whatever that are running loose or not behaving by the rules. So he's almost like a bit like Ghost Rider in the sense that Ghost Rider is sort of supposed to work for the devil, but then kind of.
It sounds a bit like a bit of Hell Rider, a bit of Hellboy. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And these powers, I mean, he's got like a cape that actually sort of like moves and bends to his will and can do weird things. He's got guns. He uses a lot of guns, and he's undead, obviously. So he's got. It's more just the fact that it's got. Like, I don't know the character that well. I just know enough to know that I always thought it could be good if it wasn't for the fact that the first film was so bad. But I haven't got that much knowledge of him. But I do know that it is a cool concept. He is like a proper anti-hero as well. I think he's quite violent, quite edgy, quite selfish, quite like, not heroic at all in a way that might be kind of cool. Like not sort of like the general depiction of superhero anti-heroes where they're kind of like the Guardians, where they're kind of bad guys, but really they're not. They do like I think Spawn is properly dark, properly um like a proper anti-hero. He's also created by Todd McFarlane, who created Venom,
Who created what, sorry?
and he looks a bit Venom,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
and like did the whole Black Suit
Mm.
Spider-Man story. So it's that kind of tone and that kind of, if you think Black Suit Spider-Man story kind of level of darkness, but with a bit more R-ratedness, and yeah, it could be cool. He looks cool as well. That's it. He's got a cool costume. You should look up Spawn and the costume. It looks cool. So anyway, R-rated Spawn. I don't know. I'd be on board, but I don't know how many people. It could be another Dread situation where there's people like me that are on board, but not enough people will see it.
But at least you got Dread. Like,
Yeah.
with Dread, like, I would really like a second one, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm very happy with what I got with that.
That's true.
And it was
That's
such a self-contained film. They didn't feel like it was setting up for a sequel that I'd never get. It just felt like
No, that is true.
it just felt like a TV special almost for a TV series that I never got.
Yeah.
Like, and I
No, that's
like,
true.
and I really just liked that, and that felt like a continuation of that.
So Spawn, right, here we go. So he was a highly trained Marine, and he makes a deal with an evil being, not the devil then, in exchange for his soul, so that he could see his wife again. But when he returns to the real
Wife's
world,
dead.
5 years have passed, and he's a demonic creature with little memory of his former self. And he goes to look for his wife, and she's married to some other dude. And then they do Spawn stuff. But like to give you a good idea
Sorry,
of
so
it.
he
like,
meets his wife and they spawn stuff.
No, so right, look, if I give you, so he faced like thugs and gangs and stuff, being a dark, brutal anti-hero, but he starts like murdering pedophiles and child murderers and stuff. So you know it's dark, like it's properly dark.
Right, hi Jack here. Quick note: Harrison's phone stopped recording at this point, so the rest of the episode has kind of been lost. Basically, after this, I'm just going to cut right to the kind of outro, and after that, after the outro, we'll be discussing some sort of spoilery bits of Don't Breathe. We already talked about it a bit before the outro, so sorry if there's like bits missing and stuff like that. But yeah, so credits. Then, if you haven't seen the film, feel free to skip the rest of it, or you can listen to our kind of spoilery thoughts on Don't Breathe. Cool. Right, that's Real Opinions podcast. We've done, it's our fourth one now. You can find us on. I'm going to try and be a proper host this time. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, mainly YouTube. YouTube's where all the reviews go, and you can listen to all of the podcasts as well if you don't like subscribe to any of those services. Like, we're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, so you can just search Real Opinions and we're there. Although I don't know how you're listening to this without knowing that. Yeah, and if you want, you can email us. Our email's on the page as well. Well, we're on Twitter as Real Opinions. We're both on Twitter individually as Jacksy Gracie, and was it Haribo? I don't know the numbers.
217.
Haribo 217. Great. Yeah, and then until we have time to record another one.
At this point, if you're still listening, we're about to spoil Don't Breathe.
Right, that sounds good. Right. So my problem is that, okay, so I'm going to go through like all the little technical problems that I remember from the ending. Okay. That how did the blind man get out of the handcuffs at the end?
I don't remember, but to be fair, I haven't seen the film in a week.
No, I don't think it's that you don't remember. It's just that they literally give nothing. There's nothing. That he's just put in handcuffs, and then they get to the door. And I thought when the guy gets shot, I thought that was going to be, the police were called, but the police shot him.
Yeah, I thought that
Yeah, and I
too.
thought
I
that would
thought
have
that
been
too.
like at least an interesting twist on it, that he saved her, but in the same time he damned himself. Like that's kind of what they were
Mm,
going for the whole time. Like it's kind of like a reverse fake out of what they did with the body and the shears earlier, which I thought was
mm.
good. I mean, I actually believed
Yeah,
it. Like it wasn't a fake out that I saw coming. Um, yeah, that kind of bothered me. That it was just like, oh, okay, he's just up and he's evil. He's got a gun again. Okay. Then they round that off. He gets old man shot, fallen in the wait. Okay, there's like a roundabout.
he gets beaten up.
Yeah, and then he falls down again. Right. So he falls down that hole just as the police van is showing up. There is no possible way that. So I thought, like, oh, okay, so he cleaned. When I saw the news report, I thought, okay, so he's cleaned up the evidence, made it look like he was just attacked, sorted everything like so that it's like. But the police car literally shows up the
Is pulling up
moment
as she's
as she
running
runs
away.
away.
Because I thought, did they see her?
So there was
So yeah.
literally no possible way that he could have cleaned up all that evidence in time.
What evidence?
Blood everywhere, dead.
But that's his blood. He fought. He was fighting back against them. They knew that, didn't
But
they?
why would there?
They knew he was fighting back
But
against
there
them.
must be so much forensic evidence everywhere because they were. There's stuff in every single room.
The only thing I would question is what they're going to think of the turkey baster.
Exactly. That's what's downstairs. So sure, maybe he could get rid of the girl's body, but how are you going to get rid of a mattress den that you have built and a harness
A load of semen.
and a vial of semen? I mean, I suppose that's the first thing you want to go. I mean, and it's just like, and sure, like there must be so much circumstantial evidence in that house that there's no way that he could make up a story off the top of his head for why everyone was where they were. Like and that bothered me, and the fact that it was just like if the car hadn't arrived, then I could have in my at least I could have believed that he cleaned it all up. But the fact that they showed the car arriving instantly, that bothered me, and that was just like it made the sequel grasp at the end all the more forced for me.
Fair enough. My main issue was that the sequel thing didn't end with him like it just sort of ended with he's alive,
Yeah.
but it didn't sort of end with he's following her or she's looking for her. It was just he's alive,
Mm.
and then they get in the plane, and it's that shot of them walking to the plane or wherever there's a train. I don't know to wherever she's walking, and I kept like looking around the screen like yes, yeah. Oh no, she's just gone. She's just gone. Oh,
It was
why is that
fake
there?
out almost. Like I felt I wouldn't go so far as to say cheated, but I just felt disappointed at the end of that because it was such a interesting, and like they managed to pull the most out of this house that they kind of not possibly could, but they managed to pull a lot out of this setting and a lot out of this premise, and yet they kind of just left the ending to be something generic.
Yeah. Like that's what I didn't like that it just ended with, and then she gets back in the house. He drags her back to the house. So I was like, "Oh God, what next?
Yeah.
What next?" She gets up and he gets confused by noises, and she hits him.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that was very strange that he's like suddenly now like hypersensitive to sound.
yeah,
Because how was he shooting guns before and
yeah.
in a basement where everything echoes?
Mm.
Like,
But it was just I don't even know why. Like, why have her escape to get brought back to then just beat him up? Like, the way it goes is she sticks the turkey baster in his mouth, handcuffs him, runs away. She gets chased by the dog. She escapes the dog. She locks the dog in the car. Then he knocks her out, drags her back to the house. And so you're like, okay, so what next? She gets up, beats him up, and leaves again. She gets dragged back to the house to be there for like 2 minutes just to beat him up and go.
yeah, I get your argument. For some reason, I thought that she escaped the house and then she got locked in the basement. For some reason,
No,
no, but it's
no, it's afterwards.
Yeah, it's afterwards. Yeah, which again, yeah, which if anything, they should have done it so that like she went back to the house after that. Like, as in the turkey baster stuff should have come just as she was at the very end. I mean,
Yeah.
it did make it all the more threatening when she was being pulled back to the house, because you know that she wasn't just being pulled back to be killed, and it gave a reason for her to be pulled back to the house, I suppose.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm kind of arguing
I
myself
like
out
the
of
film.
it.
I do just think it just sort
Yeah,
of
yeah. Again, these are nitpicky points.
it went blah towards
I
the
think
end.
that just shows that I appreciated this film. Oh, I respected this film more than most horror films, and that they're such. One, all my problems are basically towards the very end, and all the problems are that it didn't do what it was doing for the rest of the film beforehand. So
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the. God damn it, what's it called? Panic Room reference wasn't as. Wasn't.
Have you seen Panic Room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't as overt as I thought it would be from your review, but it was definitely there.
Well, that opening, that shot is
that
singular,
shot,
that shot, and it was just the other two things I will actually credit Chris Stuckman for pointing out is that she has the same hair as Jodie Foster in Panic Room, and her boyfriend has the exact same hair as Jared Leto in Panic Room.
Oh yeah,
he's sort of similar-ish character to Jared Leto as well.
I thought some of the stuff with the vents was vaguely similar, but not that much.
Yeah, well, no, that is no. Well, there is that bit that was one of the bits I thought of where she crawls and she gets to the end of the vent to where she's like outside, and that's exactly the same as Panic Room when they crawl out there and start yelling to get heard or something, and no one can hear them. Yeah,
but like as in when I thought that I saw Panic Room with my family, and I also saw this with my family, so I mentioned it and they didn't. Like as in,
oh, fair enough.
I would we make the connection obviously, but I thought it was just teetering on the edge of people that aren't.
Oh, I'm not. I didn't think it was like obnoxious.
No.
I was fine with
so.
it.
I agree with what you said in the review in that it's basically just taking from that film, but it's taking something that's very useful and very like it has a strong purpose for setting up the entirety of the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And when it is a single location film, people need to know that single location off by heart.
Very well. Yeah, they do. So, because that's how you get tension. Otherwise, like, there's only going to be tension if you know that when he's here, he's this close to here,
exactly. And you can figure out how far he is away from things.
Yeah.
And one tracking shot is a good way of doing that because one, it gives a sense of how long it takes to travel from place to place because the camera's moving at the same speed, and then also two, when it's unbroken, I think people find it a lot easier to connect where places are if it's unbroken. So like, it's a lot easier than showing like if you were doing directions, you can just show left, right, left, right, left. If you go with that, people are more likely to remember which way they went, and so that's and so it's definitely there's a lot of reasons for it being there, and I quite like exactly. I basically just really agreed with what you said in that part.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with homaging either.
Yeah,
it's good,
and it's not like
what did you think of the?
It's not a trope. Like it's not so much that it was like it's a one film thing that people are pointing to a single film as opposed to like, oh, it's like every house invasion film. So
yeah,
decent.
What did you think of the way they did night vision?
Okay, wasn't blown away by it.
I quite like it, and my reasoning is that a lot of the time I watch films with people who don't understand what movie dark is. You know, they see characters stumbling around in the dark doing this, and they go, but it's light, I can see, and they don't understand that it's supposed to be darker than it looks, and that they're just letting us see. And I thought it was a good way of making, like, you're allowed to see, but they can't see shit. Because they put, those, like, contact lenses in to dilate their eyes. And
they're contact lenses.
So,
I actually thought that they did it in some kind of dark room or something like that because that's a good. Yeah, that was actually the dilation of the eyelids or eyes. Sorry, was actually what that sold it to me more than.
That's what made it. Yeah.
And it was because it makes
the contact
like
lenses
a slightly creepy edge, but also people recognize it as like a natural thing as opposed to like a forced thing. But I definitely understand your movie darkness thing because that's thinking about it. That's exactly what some of my family would say. Like they'd say like, "Oh, he's over there.
My mum would too.
You can see him." And I like that we are now the first film that I can kind of remember it being in is Sicario, but where we've moved away from luminescent green night vision to
Oh, I
infrared.
see.
It's all
To
infrared.
actual night
Yeah,
vision.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
Outlast out vision, night
that
vision.
basically, and it's it's so much better in every possible way.
Mm-hmm. It's creepy. I definitely, I think it's creepier for definitely.
I can't think of any film where I've thought that, oh, I love this bright green night vision, unless it was something like the only way I could ever possibly say it is if like you were doing like Splinter Cell or something like that, where it's become
Yeah.
iconic. But that's the only thing that I could see why a reason why you'd put it in a film.
Mm.
Anyway, that's that's all I have to talk about, unless there's something you wanted to point out as well, spoilery.
Oh well, it's not. It's not spoiler. This is not. This is the reason I didn't say this in my review is because it's the stupidest thing to say ever in a review. Because it's not the film's fault. It's just something that annoyed me, like outside of the film, that happened to impact my viewing of the
It's
film.
another
And that's the.
cinema
Remember when you? No, 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 no. It's not that. Do you remember when you sent me that tweet that was about was it Birth Movie's Death, where they had that article that spoiled the film in their headline?
Oh, yeah, was that Don't Breathe?
And it's yeah, it said "Don't breathe." The review said something like "Don't breathe" is nasty and boring, and that's before, and then spoil, and then
Yeah.
they put the thing to cover up what the spoil was, and what it says is, and that's before it gets rapey. But I thought it was going to be something like, because they were saying, "Oh, Don't Breathe" is conventional, boring, and like using things that are overused. I genuinely thought it was going to have zombies.
Oh,
I
really?
genuinely thought it was going to be "Don't breathe" is blah blah blah, and that's before the zombies show up. And so I thought he was keeping his daughter underneath the
That's
attic. And
true,
when like
actually,
the
when I
people,
saw the
and when the
trailer.
people, when he was like, "Oh, we know what's down there, and we're gonna get it," and I was like, "No, he thinks you mean the zombie," but there wasn't a zombie. And it really let me down because it starts like that. I start with this spoiler
Mm.
thing, and I'm like, "Ooh, what happens later on in Don't Breathe? I wonder." And then I watch another review, and they go, "The thing that bothered me about Don't Breathe was that towards the end, a new element is added into the film that I didn't think was necessary." And I was like, "A new element? Like monsters?" And then another review said it, and they all started saying a new element is introduced. And when you hear new
Mm.
element, you don't think a new plot point. You think a new
Yeah,
thing, and a thing. And I was so sure that there was going to be like a
something
twist towards the end was
supernatural
that there were going to be something supernatural is going to be living in the house with him, and that's why he wants them to
Yeah.
go. And I was so excited for monsters to show up, and they just didn't. I couldn't criticize the film for that. I couldn't like there were no monsters, but I was so sure there was going to be because of because of fucking Birth Movie's death. I mean, it's not his fault. It published an actual spoiler, which is even
Mm.
worse. But
I just don't get.
yeah. Well, no, the idea of why they can think they can do it is because I didn't like this
Yeah,
film, therefore I don't care if
exactly.
I've spoiled it for other people,
And yeah,
which is so douchey. Especially like
which I've
if
seen
it
a
is a
lot on the
film that
internet.
generally, especially if it's a film that generally people are liking and that
Mm.
generally people are going to like. Like if you spoil Jack and Jill, I don't give a shit. The Adam Sandler fans can have it spoiled for them. But when it is a film that a lot of people like, I don't like The Conjuring, but I wouldn't spoil The Conjuring for people that might like The
Mm.
Conjuring. And there's going to be a lot of people that probably will like Don't Breathe. So to just do that is just a douche move. It's just a douchebag thing to do.
Have fun with your pizza again.
Thank you.
Right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, see you
Yeah.
on.
Bye.
Bye bye.